Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I would like to do a third installment of things that has helped my multiple chemical sensitivity. In my other videos you heard me talk about sauna, uh, red light sauna therapy. You heard me talk about Epsom salt baths, a little bit about tri-salt baths, which I've not tried the tri-salts, but I've heard really good things about it. You've heard me talk about the Fuji water. You've heard me talk about the Mountain Valley water. You've heard me talk about some of the things that I've used, like chromium sodium. Um, a little bit about the 3M mask with the 60926 cartridge, if I'm saying that correctly. Yep, 3M 60926. So I like to start out the video with something that's a little controversial. Some people is for it, some people is against it. Early on, one of the biggest things that helped me out, that allowed me to get to 30% where I'm at now, is fasting. Old Chinese medicine has showed that fasting has a lot of beneficial attributes about it. I think the 7-day Adventists, they use it. I think some Hebrew and Jewish celebrations use it. I don't claim to be a Christian. I claim to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what he said, follow him. So even Jesus fasted. He fasted 40 days in the desert. So it must be some meritive to cleaning your body. But outside of religion or the Bible, I'd like to talk a little bit about how it helped me. Early on, I had the cough and I had the respiratory issues, which I still have those. But one thing that developed about 5 months into my MCS was I had a severe intolerance to food, which I still have that, but it was so severe at the time. I was throwing up every day, like I mentioned in my last video. I had severe acid reflux. I had to sleep upright. And you're talking about miserable. I mean, miserable is not the word to describe it when you have to sleep upright every single day in a recliner. So miserable is an understatement, especially when you have MCS on top of it, and MCAS and 13 different food allergies. The things that got me on the right track, as we talked about before, some of the diet protocols, the no dairy and the no cheese. I did no yogurt. I've heard that some people with the dairy products, I've heard that they substitute with like raw pasteurized dairy. I have not tried that. I substitute with goat milk. Goat milk seems to be far superior, so if the raw milk works for you, hats off to you. Keep doing what's helping you. Early on, I done the diet protocols, etc., etc. But what I want to talk about is fasting. Now, this come straight out of a mast cell activation syndrome doctor's mouth. It went out of his mouth into my ear, and it's coming out of my mouth into your ear. Your mycotoxins, or the mycotoxins that you're exposed to, your body stores them in fat cells. That's the main place that mycotoxins is stored in the body. And I notice a lot of people that goes through these conditions, they'll end up losing 40, 50, 60 pounds like I did. I was 180 pounds before I got sick, and currently right now I'm sitting at around 132. At my lightest, I was 122. And I'm going to go into another story when I get through all this things that I'm talking about. But early on, I noticed when I would fast for 2 or 3 days, I would improve. I would cough less. Of course, my acid was better. My body was so overwhelmed with the exposures and the chemical sensitivities that when I would not eat, I was not taking in anything that made my body focus on digesting my food. So it kind of gave my body breaks from the chemicals I was taking in my food, processed, etc., etc. When I started my diet protocols, when I was talking about in my other videos, the no cheese, no dairy, no bread, etc., etc. When I started doing that, I didn't need to fast as much. But after stomach surgery, and I don't recommend this to nobody at all, but I had a shredder procedure done, which what it is they give radiation to a person's esophagus, and it's like protruding needles that attaches to the lining of the esophagus, and it heats it up, and what it basically does, it causes like a scar tissue response, and it thickens that muscle to keep stomach acid from coming up. So I had that shredder procedure done, and it did help a little bit, which I might not even eat it if I had been eating the right things. The reason I was regurgitating my food was because of the things that I was eating. I didn't know at the time that I had multiple chemical sensitivity or mast cell activation syndrome, so I didn't know what to eat or what to stay away from. Now, back into fasting. When I had that stomach surgery or esophagus surgery, I could not eat. I went 7 days without eating, and that was the cleanest my body had ever felt in a long time. Sure, I was weak, and I was almost delusional. I was almost in a state of hallucinating. I was so hungry. The only thing I had in 7 days was like a bowl of mashed potatoes, and I think I'd had chicken broth. So basically that 7 days, I'd eat maybe a cumulative 200 or 300 calories at the most. But after I'd reintroduced food, I got sick the first few times because your body just kind of just shuts down. It gets so used not to eating, your body just kind of shuts down. But after I got through that first few meals, I felt so good for like, I would say probably a month, because my body had opportunity to heal. I was taking a break from my chemical load from the stuff that I was absorbing in my stomach, so my body had it had space, or it had time to use that energy to get rid of other chemicals in my body. So I was flushing it out with a lot of water, so my body wasn't occupied digesting my food. And it's going to sound a little bit like quackery, but I'm a big believer in fasting. Now, I don't do it so much now because I'm skinny, but it is a proven scientific fact, and I've heard it straight from a mast cell doctor, is your fat cells is what stores mycotoxins, and a lot of the heavy metals that your body stores that contributes to MCS or MCAS, it is stored in the fat cells. So if you get rid of the fat cells, your body just kind of resets. Eventually, when you lose all your fat or most of your fat content in your body, it gives your body the opportunity to kind of desensitize. So this is not by no means a medical advice. I'm not telling you not to eat for 7 days. I would never advise anybody to do that. But a lot of old school and functional medicine, I think fasting for 2 or 3 days, unless your doctor's told you otherwise, I don't see where that would hurt you. I know for me, that fasting, it gives my body an opportunity to have a break, and it kind of lets it flush out. Now I do know some mast cell patients that can't fast because it kind of upsets it puts stress on their body, and it kind of upsets their mast cells. So it's not a one size fits all shoe. I'm just telling you what helped me. But but I don't like to bring up religion in my channel, even though that I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, because I don't want to offend nobody or nothing like that. But I am a follower, and it does say in the Bible that Jesus, when he fasted in the desert, he was away from all temptation. So if Jesus came back today, it'd be kind of living like us, free of chemicals and preservatives and lust and things like that. Or not only a sexual thing, but it's also you can lust for food. You can want food. You could desire materialistic things. So your body is the cleanest when it's fasting, but it is also hard on your body, is what I'm getting at. Now, also to back up some of my theories and concepts, right after, this was about 4 or 5 months after I started doing the fasting and stuff, and I started seeing improvement. My doctor put me on chromium sodium. What it is it's vials. It's for mast cell activation syndrome. And what you do, unless your doctor tells you otherwise, is you take 2 of these, you open them up, you put them in a glass of water. I put it in my Fuji water. You stir that up, you mix it up real good, and basically what that does is it kind of coats your stomach, but it helped with my reactions and my regurgitation stuff. But the downfall of chromium sodium, and my mast cell activation doctor said the same thing, is this is where I learned this from, is it's mostly absorbed by the stomach. So it's only going to help really your diet part. It's not going to help your exposure part. So let's use this for example. You're slightly reactive to something. This is going to help you kind of get through the day with things that you're eating. Now, it's not going to help, so much, what you're breathing in or what your skin's absorbing. It doesn't mean that you can take this and you can be around a Glade plug-in, by no means. Excuse me. But back to the fat cells. This right here, I'll cover the name and stuff up. This right here is a powder that he gave me, and it's used for cholesterol. It's used to detox for that, or to remove cholesterol, but it also serves the purpose of removing mycotoxins. And I've seen a little bit of benefit from this. You basically, what you do, you open it up. You don't want to take it with your medicine because it'll flush your medicine out, because it's basically kind of like a binder. But you take 1 scoop per glass of water, and that helps flush your mycotoxins out. And to further back up my theory, I don't have the pictures with me, but maybe my next video, or I can add it to the video actually at the end. But to back up my theory, I had a similar experience when I was 13 years old. We lived, me and my family, we didn't have a lot of money. We was pretty poor, so I grew up in an 89 Fleetwood mobile home. It had some age on it, and mobile homes is notorious for mold, and it was like an 1.5-inch streak of mold behind the entertainment center. This was right before we moved out, but I was like 13 years old, and I kept having, like throat pain, my throat burned. I had like these nodules in the back of my throat. And no matter how much antihistamine I took or whatever, it didn't seem like it got better. Parents took me ENT. My parents took me to allergists. They gave me allergy pills. It went on for like 2 years. and it would not go away. And I was like 115 pounds at 13. And all of a sudden, I developed intolerance to foods. And I couldn't eat chicken nuggets no more. I couldn't eat pizza no more. I couldn't touch tomato sauce. It was just a bunch of odd things all of a sudden. And I went all the way down to 89 pounds. It was like 89 pounds or 87 pounds. I got so weak I couldn't hardly walk. Parents didn't know what was going on. Doctors didn't know what was going on. I kind of quit growing. And my biggest complaint, you know, my throat hurt. You know, it was just like my throat felt like it was swollen, everything I eat. And I had like 3 safe foods. It was like potatoes, every now and then chicken, and then the other safe food was like, I don't even remember what the other one was. But anyway, I lost all that weight and my body reset. Then I was fine all of a sudden. It's like my body detoxed. So undoubtedly I'd had a mold exposure, or maybe it was that mobile home. But right after that, we'd moved out of that mobile home and we moved into a newer one, and it didn't have mold. So it had to be something that I was exposed to, or a hormonal change. But it goes back to what I was just telling you. And my mast cell doctor said this: molds or mycotoxins is stored in fat cells. So sometimes, I don't know why, but it seems like when people, they lose a whole bunch of weight, and I'm pretty much skin and bones right now, their body kind of resets and they don't, a lot of their symptoms go away. This time when I got sick, it was 2019, but this time it's primarily respiratory. It's not my throat, or, you know, it's not those symptoms. You know, I had the fatigue and I had the tiredness and stuff, but I didn't have the respiratory part. And now I have the respiratory part, but I don't have so much the throat swelling and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of what happened years ago, but it's just a little bit different monster than what it was. But anyway, I hope this video helps you out. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. Wanted to get some points across and some theories. This is by no means medical advice. It's just what I've experienced in my journey. God bless y'all, and y'all have a great day. Peace. I wanted to add one thing to the video that I forgot to mention. I'm brainstorming, so apologize if it's slow. In the video we talked about food intolerances. Not only did I have food intolerances now, but I also had it when I was 13 years old, mysteriously for 2 years, and it vanished when as I was saying, as I lost a bunch of weight, and all of a sudden I lost my food intolerances and my body kind of reset. One thing that I did forget to mention is, I remember that when I would drink Dr. Pepper or when I would drink pop, it's like it would burn my back of my throat. So I couldn't drink pop for like 2 or 3 years. And at the time I didn't know that it was chemicals doing so, or preservatives or artificial flavors. But I had regained that ability when I got well. And now that I've had issues again since 2019, my ability to drink pop, it's kind of on the back burner again. I kind of lost my ability, you know, as we talked about, you know, sugars and inflammatory. So it all kinds of it pretty much kind of lines up with what I'm saying. I wanted to add that in there. And in the next part of the video, you'll see how skinny I was when I was 13 and how sick I was. So take a look at it, please. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed the content or liked the video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. I want to get the content out, and I want to help as many people as I possibly can going through these terrible conditions. So if you would, at the very least, please do that. Y'all have a great one, and God bless. Peace.